What's up, DJ Tech Tools? Ian Golden here. I'm in the studio with the Midi Fighter 3D, and what is it doing? It's controlling the Traktor remix decks. We've got these four guys right here. Right off the bat, you might notice something different. I've got these LEDs pulsing, and they're pulsing with the beat of each sound. This is because we combined MIDI and HID into one single unified experience, so you can not only trigger the remix decks, but also play effects. Not only have we achieved plug-and-play integration of the Midi Fighter 3D with the remix decks, all you have to do is plug in the USB, select the deck you want to control. No drivers necessary. All you need to do is download the brand new Midi Fighter utility. I've got it here. It's looking pretty sweet. And you need to change the firmware up here in Tools, alternate firmware, to remix decks. You can always switch back to the standard firmware. What this is going to do is unlock all this HID functionality you see right here. Super cool. Not only do you have an HID profile on the Midi Fighter 3D, we've actually combined MIDI and HID, so you can add your own mappings. In this case, if we get that track playing again, you'll notice that I've added a color out display. So this is actually showing me the volume of this particular clip. Watch, we'll change the clip. You'll really be able to see the track. Now for me, this is huge because I'll be honest, as I look down at just plain colors, I don't really know what's playing. You don't get a sense of what parts of the song I'm hearing when I want to manipulate them. But as I'm seeing them pulse and move, I know which part is playing on that clip, and I can grab it and manipulate it. Now that's the next cool thing. Not only do I have, and this is a test mapping by the way, this is going to be my personal remix deck mapping that I'm going to be releasing shortly. Not only do I have information coming out about the clip levels, which is what it's called, I can also got it set up so that when I grab a clip or I press this button, it's going to turn on effects directly and only to that clip, and then I can modulate the effects using the motion. So you'll see here that I've got the motion of the Midi Fighter connected to various effects here. Now here's why I really like this interaction experience and why I think combining HID and effects is really important, because just triggering loops, especially loops that are only 8 counts and 16 counts long, gets kind of boring pretty fast. Unless you're changing things a lot and you're really moving it around, it's the same loop going over and over and over again. But when you get effects into the specific loops, you can grab the bass line or you can grab the snare of the particular drum loop that's going, and you can manipulate that. It starts to get really musical without being overwhelming. In case you didn't notice, what we're actually doing here is allowing you to customize the way the Midi Fighter 3D works in HID mode. So this is not mapping, this is actually directly controlling and setting up the controller for how you want to play. These are all the options. You can make any of the top 4 buttons or the side 6 buttons do anything you want. Sync, quantize, page up, page down, select page, mute, stop, anything you can imagine. But one of the most powerful is HID toggle. HID toggle turns HID mode on and off, so you can basically switch between your standard MIDI mappings, whatever your favorite is, and then toggle into controlling a remix deck. So how do I get this? Pretty simple. Just head on over to midifighter.com, click on 3D support, and it'll take you to the store where we've got all of our support materials for the Midi Fighter 3D right here. If you don't own a 3D and you're interested in getting one, this is also the same place to go, midifighter.com. You can go ahead and select your mapping and download the utility here.